Silence. Most people are afraid of it. They fill their days with noise, music, television, endless scrolling, because silence forces them to face themselves. But here's the truth. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. Silence is where strength is born, where clarity is sharpened, and where destiny begins to unfold. We live in a world that rewards loudness. Everyone wants to talk, to be seen, to be heard. People post every detail of their lives, scream for attention, and chase validation. But true growth, true transformation, doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in silence. Stay silent, and everything will come naturally. Think about it. The seed doesn't scream as it grows underground. The sun doesn't make noise when it rises. Strength doesn't announce itself while it's being built. All of life's most powerful forces are quiet, patient, steady. And when their time comes, they appear unstoppable. There's a quote by Lao Tzu: "Silence is a source of great strength." And it's true. When you learn to stay silent, when you stop broadcasting every move, stop seeking approval, stop chasing validation, you free yourself to focus on the one thing that matters: the work. Let me tell you a story. A young man named Adrian dreamed of becoming an artist. At first, he told everyone about his dream. He shared his sketches, asked for feedback, posted everything online. And what did he receive? Criticism, doubt. People told him, "You'll never make money doing that." They laughed at his style, compared him to others, and planted seeds of doubt in his heart. For a while, Adrian almost quit. But then he made a decision. He would stay silent. He stopped telling people his plans. He stopped showing his half-finished work. Instead, he spent his nights alone, sketching, painting, learning. In silence. Months passed, then years. Until one day, Adrian unveiled a collection of breathtaking paintings. Suddenly, the same people who doubted him were calling him talented, gifted, even lucky. But luck had nothing to do with it. His success was born in silence, in the hidden hours when he chose work over noise. And that is the secret I want you to hear today. If you can stay silent, if you can embrace the unseen grind, everything will come naturally. Success will unfold because it always does for those who stay disciplined when no one is watching. You see, when you're always talking, always announcing, always seeking validation, you drain your energy. You spend so much time convincing others of who you want to be that you never become it. But when you stay silent, you channel all that energy inward. You sharpen your craft. You strengthen your mind. You focus on growth instead of applause. There's a quote that says, "Work hard in silence. Let success make the noise." That's the key. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. It's patience. It's the soil where greatness grows. But here's the challenge. Silence is uncomfortable. When you're silent, you don't get applause. You don't get likes or shares. You don't get validation. And that's why most people run from it. They want recognition more than results. But not you. You're here because something inside you knows that greatness requires a different path. A quieter path. A path where you build in secret, grow in silence, and reveal yourself only when the time is right. So the next time you feel pressured to announce your every move, to prove yourself to people who don't matter, stop. Take a breath. Stay silent. Trust the process. Because if you do, everything will come naturally. And when it does, the world will not be able to ignore you. Silence is not easy. When you stay silent, people will misunderstand you. They'll wonder why you're not sharing every detail of your life. They'll question your choices. Some will even think you're hiding because you're weak. But here's the truth. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. The strongest people in the world are not the loudest. They are the ones who can stand in stillness, endure the waiting, and quietly build when no one is paying attention. But staying silent takes discipline. It means holding back when you want to prove yourself. It means walking away from arguments that don't matter. It means letting your actions speak louder than your words. And in a world addicted to noise, that discipline makes you dangerous. Think about it. Lions don't need to roar every second of the day to prove they're lions. They move with quiet confidence. They wait. They prepare. And when the moment comes, they strike. Silence is not absence of power. It is controlled power. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya was a high school student who dreamed of getting into one of the best universities. Everyone around her doubted her. Teachers told her she wasn't smart enough. Friends said she should be realistic. Instead of fighting back with words, Maya stayed silent. She didn't argue. She didn't announce her plans every day. She simply worked. While others wasted time gossiping, she studied. While others posted every detail of their lives on social media, she quietly filled notebooks with practice problems and essays. She wasn't loud about her dreams, but her actions screamed louder than words ever could. When the acceptance letters came, Maya didn't have to say a thing. The results spoke for her. The very people who doubted her were left speechless because her silence had turned into undeniable proof. That's the power of silence. It creates an element of surprise. The world doesn't see you coming, and when your breakthrough arrives, it hits with force. There's a famous quote, "Never announce your moves before you make them." Too many people fail because they talk too much. They tell everyone their plans, their goals, their dreams. And when challenges come, they lose energy defending their vision instead of pursuing it. But those who stay silent preserve their energy. They put their head down, stay focused, and when they finally rise, no one can stop them. Maybe you've felt this pressure yourself. Maybe you've told people about your dreams and felt their doubt crush your spirit. Maybe you've shared your plans and felt embarrassed when they didn't happen as fast as you wanted. Maybe you've been judged, ridiculed, laughed at. It hurts. But that pain is also your teacher. It's showing you the importance of silence. Because silence protects your dreams. Silence shields you from unnecessary doubt. Silence keeps you grounded when the world wants to pull you off balance. Remember, silence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things without broadcasting them. It means working on yourself in private so that when the time comes, you're unstoppable in public. Like the bamboo tree. For years, after it's planted, nothing seems to happen. You water it, nurture it, wait in silence, and there's no sign of growth. But then, in a short burst, it shoots up feet into the air. That sudden rise shocks everyone who wasn't paying attention. But you knew. You knew the roots were growing strong in silence all along. That's your life. Right now, maybe you feel invisible. Maybe no one sees the effort you're putting in. Maybe people think you're stagnant. But what they don't see are your roots, your discipline, your silent growth. Stay patient. Stay silent. Because when it's time, you will rise, and everything will come naturally. There's another powerful truth in silence. It teaches you to listen. When you're not always speaking, you hear more. You learn more. You notice things others miss. And that awareness gives you an edge. Think about leaders. The greatest ones don't talk the most. They listen the most. They observe. They process. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight because they've been sharpened by silence. You can be that kind of person. The one who doesn't need to prove themselves with noise. The one who doesn't chase attention. The one who knows that real power moves in silence. And when the moment comes, it moves mountains. So when people doubt you, don't argue. When they mock you, don't fight. When they underestimate you, don't waste your breath. Stay silent. Do the work. Build in the shadows. And when the results come, let them do the talking for you. Because silence is not the absence of strength. It is the birthplace of strength. Stay silent, and everything will come naturally. Silence tests you. When you choose silence, the world doesn't clap. No one cheers for the unseen hours you invest. No one congratulates you for the sacrifices you make in private. And that's exactly why silence is so powerful, because it forces you to do the work for yourself, not for applause. Most people can only stay disciplined when others are watching. They go to the gym when someone holds them accountable. They study when a deadline looms. They work only when there's recognition waiting at the finish line. But champions? Champions do the work in silence, with no one watching, no one praising, no one even noticing. Because champions understand this truth. Your results will speak for you. There's a saying, when you are truly excellent at what you do, you won't have to tell anyone. They'll tell you. That's why silence is so important. It removes the pressure of performing for others and lets you perform for yourself. Let me tell you about Anthony. Anthony was a basketball player in high school, but he wasn't the star. In fact, he barely made the team. People laughed at his clumsy moves. He never got much playing time, and some told him to quit. For a while, he thought they were right. But deep down, he loved the game too much to let it go. So he made a decision. He would stay silent and put in the work. While his friends were out partying, Anthony was on the court alone, practicing his dribble in the cold night air. While others slept, he was in the gym, shooting hundreds of free throws until his arms ached. He didn't post it online. He didn't brag about it. He just worked. Months turned into years. By senior year, Anthony had transformed. His movements were sharper, his shots deadly accurate, his stamina unmatched. Suddenly, the same teammates who laughed at him were passing him the ball, relying on him, calling him the leader. When he won a scholarship to play college basketball, people called him talented. But talent wasn't what built his future, silence was. The silence of thousands of hours of unseen work. And that's the lesson. Silence doesn't just hide your grind. It multiplies its power. Because when you stay silent, you remove distractions. You stop wasting energy explaining yourself. You stop giving away your vision to people who don't understand it. You stop needing approval from those who were never meant to validate you in the first place. You take all that energy and you invest it where it matters, in the work. Think about the strongest trees in the forest. They don't grow overnight. They don't shout while they rise. They grow slowly, quietly, pushing roots deep into the earth. By the time anyone notices their size, it's too late. The foundation is unshakable. That's how your life works. Stay silent. Build deep. Strengthen your roots. And when the time comes, you'll rise taller than anyone thought possible. But let me be real with you. Silence is lonely. It feels like no one sees your effort, and that can crush your spirit if you let it. You'll wonder if it's worth it. You'll ask yourself, what's the point if nobody notices? The point is this: silence forces you to notice yourself. It builds resilience, self-trust, and inner strength. And that strength is what will carry you when the world tests you. There's a quote from Rumi: "Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation." That means silence is sacred. In silence, you connect with your true self. In silence, you hear your deepest thoughts, your real desires, your authentic vision. Noise drowns it out, but silence reveals it. So maybe right now, your silence feels heavy. Maybe you feel invisible, ignored, overlooked. But what if I told you that invisibility is your greatest weapon? Because while they can't see you, you're becoming unstoppable. Think of the caterpillar in the cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. Silent, still, unremarkable. But inside, a transformation is taking place. And when the time comes, it emerges as a butterfly, shocking the world with its beauty. That's you. Right now, you might be in your cocoon season. Silent, hidden, misunderstood. But stay patient. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Because when the time is right, you'll emerge, and the world won't be able to ignore you. So don't waste your silence wishing for noise. Don't waste your energy begging to be seen. Stay still. Stay patient. Stay disciplined. Because everything you've been working for, everything you've been dreaming of, will come naturally when the time is right. And when it does, it won't be forced. It won't be fake. It won't be fragile. It will be real, solid, unshakable, because it was built in silence. There will come a time when life tests you, when everything seems to be falling apart, when people doubt you, criticize you, and even betray you. In those moments, the natural instinct is to fight back with noise, to defend yourself, to prove your worth, to shout your truth into the world. But here's the paradox. Sometimes the greatest power is to stay silent. Because silence in the storm doesn't mean weakness, it means control. When you remain calm, when you don't waste your energy trying to convince people, you keep your focus on what actually matters: growth. Think of water. It doesn't shout, it doesn't force, but over time, its quiet persistence carves through rock. That's the power of staying silent. Quiet, steady, relentless, and in the end, nothing can resist it. Let me tell you about Jordan. Jordan was an employee at a company where no one believed in him. His boss constantly overlooked him. His coworkers mocked him. They told him he'd never rise higher, that he should know his place. Many people would have lashed out, complained, or quit. But Jordan chose silence. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He stayed silent and focused on becoming the best at what he did. He studied every night, learned new skills, and quietly applied them. While others wasted energy on gossip, Jordan built himself into someone indispensable. Years later, when a leadership position opened, guess who was ready? Jordan. The same people who doubted him now worked under his guidance. He didn't get there by talking. He got there by letting his work speak. That's the gift of silence. It transforms criticism into fuel. It turns doubt into motivation. It forces you to focus not on proving others wrong with words, but with undeniable results. There's a quote by Abraham Lincoln: "Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt." Sometimes silence protects you. Sometimes silence saves you. Sometimes silence is the smartest strategy you can choose. But let's be real. Silence is hard because ego gets in the way. Your ego wants to fight back. It wants to be right. It wants to be heard. And in chasing that noise, you waste the energy you could have used to build your future. The truth is, not everyone deserves access to your energy. Not everyone deserves to hear your plans, your goals, your dreams. Because not everyone will understand them. And that's okay. You don't need them to understand. You don't need them to believe. You don't even need them to support you. All you need is your silence, your discipline, and your persistence. And when you commit to that, something incredible happens. Slowly, life starts to align. Opportunities appear. Breakthroughs unfold. Progress becomes natural. Why? Because silence sharpens you. It removes distractions. It keeps you grounded. And it forces you to focus on what really matters. It's like planting a garden. You don't dig up the seeds every day to check if they're growing. You plant them, water them, and trust the process. That's what silence is. Trust in your growth. Trust in the work you're doing behind the scenes. Trust that when the time is right, everything will bloom. But most people can't wait. They dig up the seeds with noise. They beg for validation before the roots are strong. And then they wonder why their dreams never grow. Not you. You're going to stay silent. You're going to water your seeds with consistency. You're going to trust the process. And when the time is right, your garden will be undeniable. Let's be honest, silence isn't glamorous. It doesn't get likes. It doesn't get attention. But silence builds something stronger than attention. It builds character. It builds resilience. It builds a foundation so solid that when your time comes, no one can take it away. Because here's the truth, noise fades, but results remain. So the next time someone doubts you, stay silent. The next time life feels unfair, stay silent. The next time you're tempted to brag about your progress, stay silent. Not because you're weak, but because your silence is building something louder than any words ever could. And when your moment arrives, you won't have to announce it. You won't have to explain it. You won't have to prove it. The world will see it. The world will feel it. The world will know it. Because you stayed silent, and everything came naturally. One day, everything you've been working for will align. The sacrifices, the struggles, the lonely nights, they will all make sense. And when that day comes, people will look at you in awe. They will call you lucky. They will say you came out of nowhere. But you'll know the truth. You'll know it was the silence that shaped you. Because silence is not empty. It's full of answers. In silence, you discover who you really are. In silence, you learn patience, discipline, and resilience. And in silence, you prepare for the moment when the world finally sees the masterpiece you've been building. Stay silent, and everything will come naturally. Why? Because silence teaches trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. Trust that your hard work will pay off even when no one claps, no one notices, no one says a word. Trust that your season of invisibility is not punishment, it's preparation. Think of the strongest warriors in history. They didn't talk their way into victory. They trained in silence, endured in silence. And then, when the time came, they fought with power. The same is true for you. Your silence is not weakness, it is your training ground. There's a quote by Leonardo da Vinci: "Nothing strengthens authority so much as silence." What does that mean? It means silence creates gravity. When you don't waste your words, when you don't beg for attention, When you simply build yourself, your presence becomes undeniable. So here's the challenge. Stop giving the world a play-by-play of your dreams. Stop announcing your every move. Stop defending yourself to people who don't believe in you. Instead, do the work in silence. Let your results speak. Let your growth be the proof. Because here's what will happen. One day, the people who doubted you will fall silent. Not because you argued with them, not because you proved them wrong with words, but because your success became louder than anything they could ever say. And when that moment comes, you'll smile. Not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. Because you'll know you earned it, not through noise, but through silence, patience, and persistence. But you have to be willing to stay the course. You have to be willing to walk through seasons where no one notices you. You have to be willing to water your seeds in silence, knowing that one day they will bloom. It won't happen overnight, and that's why silence is hard. But everything that lasts, everything that matters, takes time. And silence gives you the patience to endure that time without giving up. So remember this. The world doesn't need to hear your plans. It needs to see your results. And the only way to get there is to embrace the quiet work, the hidden grind, the discipline no one claps for. Stay silent. Stay steady. Stay focused. And watch. Everything will come naturally. And now, I want to speak directly to you. Yes, you. If these words stirred something inside you, if they reminded you of your strength, if they lit a fire in your heart, don't let it fade. Carry it into your day. Carry it into your week. Carry it into your future. And if you ever feel like giving up, if you ever feel like your silence is wasted, come back here. Listen again. Remind yourself of who you are and who you are becoming. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to Mind Fire Motivation. Because here, we fuel your fire. We remind you of your strength. We stand with you in the silence. And we push you toward the greatness you were born to achieve. Stay silent. Stay strong. Stay disciplined. And trust this truth. When you stay silent, everything will come naturally.